Yeah. Ay, 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 ay. Whoa. If the real talk gets in hot, bring it up. If the lies need sunlight, bring it up. Cause every night we talk love and then we talk lies, then we laugh. Then we open your eyes. If it's messy but it's funny, bring it up. If it's sweet but it's shady, bring it up. Cause every night we talk love and then we talk lies. Real talk in our Cayman tonight.
Oh boy, I'm still laughing. Oh god, I can't tell a story. No, not true.
Oh shit. Now up to you, friend. But anyway, let's open up the show properly. All right.
I'm gonna turn off my mic and see if I can stop laughing. Go.
You're tuned into Real Talk, Love and Lies. You're tuned into Real Talk, Love and Lies, the late night space where we put love, lies, and all the messy in between on the table without the fake perfection. We're your hosts, Alfred
And Matilda.
And our other co-hosts are you, the listeners. Your stories shape this show. Your stories shape this show. If you're new here, this is where we talk honestly about relationships and betrayal, laugh so we don't cry, and ask the questions most people only whisper about in group chats. So get comfortable, plug in your headphones, or turn the volume down low if the kids are still awake.
Okay.
This is Real Talk, Love and Lies, and we're just getting started. Quick disclaimer before we get into it. You need to behave yourself, Nina.
I'm struggling.
I go mute your mic.
No, I was fine. I was fine.
Okay.
I got it. I got it now.
Quick disclaimer before we get into it. The content you're about to hear, including discussions and opinions from us, our guests, and participants, is intended solely for general informational and entertainment purposes. We're not therapists, lawyers, doctors, or financial advisors, and nothing said on this show should be taken as professional advice. Not a substitute for counseling, legal guidance, medical care, or financial consultation. If you have specific concerns, we strongly encourage you to seek advice from a qualified professional. Real Talk, Love and Lies accepts no liability for any decisions or actions taken based on the information shared here tonight. We're here for honest conversation, respectfully shared, and any resemblance to real people is purely coincidental, unless your third person just texted you, I'm outside right now. So, if you want to keep the conversation going after the show, you can scan the QR codes that we're showing on our screen right now. We have our QR code up for Instagram. Give us a follow on Instagram. And join the Real Talk WhatsApp news channel for the topic drops, episode updates, and the spicy questions before we go live. So, you got it out your system yet?
You gonna make me talk about it, and I gotta get it up the system again. It's bad. It's bad.
All right, you don't gotta talk about it.
No, I'm not bad. So what happened was I
What
pushed
happened was-
right before we pressed go live. I pushed my dog out of the room into the next room to be with my other half, and he turns his back to me, and my thumb went inside his butthole. I was like, I screamed out just now, and my partner looked at me, and he was. I tell people, listen, man. If people could ever hear the conversations that you and I have before we start this show, right? I think I'm afraid that we can have recorded at some point, but I don't want to think about it because some of the things that come out of our mouth and the things that happen. But yeah, I had to go wash my hands and scrub them down while dancing to the theme song.
Oh God!
Oh man, you catch me good, bro.
Yeah, well, I mean,
bad.
if the audience is listening and they're interested in our behind the scenes, just let us know. We can post some behind the scenes.
I don't know about all that. I'm not
clips for
ready.
you. Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. But yeah, so open season.
Yeah. Let's talk about it.
So how this topic came up, right? Like I wanted to float a thought. And I want all y'all who are listening to answer it honestly, right? What if part of the reason Cayman has so much, sneaky link culture, cheating, lying? What if part of the reason we have so much of that is because we don't talk straight with each other? If we were more open and trusting with each other, could we actually talk about our attractions, our temptations, even the possibility of, respectfully dating more than one person? Would that reduce the lying?
Well, I have thoughts about this because the thing that we're spending time on right now is a subject that has been right outside of like my attention, right outside of the edge of my attention for the last couple of years. Because, well, I shouldn't say last couple of years. I have had polyamorous friends for more than 10 years. One of my closest friends is polyamorous. And when I met them, they were in a relationship with a man and a woman who are also in a relationship with each other. And to me, that is like, I guess that's what you would call a throuple, right?
I suppose, yeah.
But there are a few insights that I gained from just watching her navigate that relationship and watching her also navigate that breakup. I've never seen a breakup like that in my life. That was different.
Well,
but it's an interesting concept. But I do believe I always start from the foundational part of consent, which is what I think you're getting to, right? If there was less lies and we were socially allowed to accept this thing, which people are doing anyway, then would that solve a lot of problems?
Well, imagine a Cayman. Imagine a Cayman where people could say, I love you, but I also like variety. Or, I love you, but I can't promise lifelong exclusivity. Or, even if they say, I want us, but I also want space to explore. And like the other person listening to that could actually respond like a grown person and say, either okay, but I can't do that, or okay, maybe, or okay, but here are my boundaries. Mm-hmm. So no sneaking, no lies, no acting innocent while your car is parked up by somebody else. Mm-hmm. What I'm asking is, would honesty lower the cheating, or would it just give cheaters a permission slip?
I actually think it's two very different things. I don't think it would give cheaters a permission slip so much. I think it would just be two very different things. I believe people get a thrill out of fooling somebody else when they're cheating. Or they get a thrill out of getting one up on the other person. Not just fooling them, but maybe there's like a power dynamic. I think there are other things that people get out of cheating that they don't get out of an open relationship. Cheating is almost never about the sex. However, open relationships can be, like polyamory can be.
Well, funny you said that, because I read this thing. I was doing research about this topic, right? I came across this study that was a team set out to understand the psychology of people who actively seek out and engage in extramarital affairs, right? Mm-hmm. And what they did was that they turned to Ashley Madison. Now, for those who don't know what Ashley Madison is, it's a site. It's like a social media site, but for cheaters, right? Mm-hmm. And what they did was that they surveyed 2,000.
An online dating app, not a social media site. An online dating app for cheaters.
Well, tomato, same thing.
Okay.
They
proving yourself a Luddite.
They surveyed 2,000 users, both before and after they had the affairs. And the participants were basically asked about the state of their marriage and why they wanted to have the affair and, their overall general well-being. And the results showed that the participants generally reported high levels of love for their spouses. However, they reported low levels of sexual satisfaction. That was cited as the top motivator for having an affair. Other motivators included a desire for independence and a yearning for sexual variety. But fundamental problems with the relationship, like lack of love or anger towards a spouse, those are the least cited reasons for having an affair.
But that's the thing. I don't think people understand the psychology of losing desire for your partner. These are people who have not identified the problem in their relationship. That don't mean that they don't have a problem in their relationship. Right? Wanting variety means there is an unmet need. Right? Saying that they don't feel sexual desire for their partner is a very obvious unmet need. So I'll give you an example. There's certain things that can shrivel me right up and I don't got no desire for you. One is if you don't pay no bills. If you can't pay no bills, my lady parts just don't have no interest. Right? And I don't mean my bills. I mean, you understand what I'm saying? I'm not looking for somebody to necessarily take care of the household or anything like that. I'm a grown woman. I can take care of myself. But if you bring in your bills to me, we got problems. That's one thing. The second thing that really shrivels me up is any form of addiction issues. Right? So that's a real turnoff for me. Gaming, drinking, too much weed, any of that I got problems with. I have no interest. If you can't prioritize the things that are important in your life, and that is more important, then we're not gonna make it. And when I say we're not gonna make it, my body gonna shut down first. But that's another thing that we need to distinguish between people who cheat and people who are polyamorous. People who cheat, generally speaking, will do so because they're missing something. People who are polyamorous are not necessarily missing something. They're on an adventure together. Right? Like they're on an adventure together. I remember I went to dinner with a polyamorous couple years ago. And the wife was describing to us, because I was a guest of a guest, the wife was describing to us meeting her husband's girlfriend for the first time. And she was telling us that she was really nervous about it because she's been burned before. All these women that say that they're polycurious, but they're not genuinely polycurious. They're looking for a main partner. They're looking for a primary partner, and they're thinking to take her partner from her. And so she was pleased that this young woman was actually genuinely polycurious. And I was like, what does that mean? She's like, well, what that means is that she has an interest in the open lifestyle. It's not that she had an interest in my part and participating in that with my partner and me. Not an interest in him becoming her primary partner. So her husband had a girlfriend, a new girlfriend, and a boyfriend, and she has a boyfriend.
Well, with that said, let's open up our clip, our first clip. And we're going to show what polyamory is not to Matilda's point, and then what it actually is. So let's take a look.
By the way, I don't blind react. I haven't seen any of these.
No. Remove that one, not that one. This one.
So I've been married for more than 15 years.
Congratulations.
I have been in a side relationship that my husband recently found out about. How can I convince my husband to let me keep the side dude?
Well, first of all,
goddamn.
First of all, he shouldn't. You need to change that convince word to manipulate.
Ooh.
We're not gonna play those games right now. You took a vow. You took vows. You stood before God or whatever it is you believe in and said that you were going to love this man in sickness and through health, for rich and for poor. You said that You committed whenever you took that vow. You committed to be there even in the hard times, even in the times where you were not fully emotionally fulfilled. You still took on that position to say that I'm going to have those conversations. I'm going to communicate. I'm not going to breach the trust in this marriage. You lack marital integrity. And if you lack marital integrity, you lack integrity as a person as well. So my next point to make is the audacity must be on sale right now for you to be able to say, how can I convince my husband, a man at that, convince my husband to let me still have a side relationship as if I did not betray this man, as if I did not hurt this man, as if I did not dishonor this man, as if I did not disrespect this man, and you want to ask for something? You want to ask for what it seems like more of a favor because it's only going to work in your favor. It's nothing that is going to work for him. I don't like when we play these games like this. You entered into what you two believe was a monogamous agreement, and you made it a polyamorous thing. You did. Let me tell you something else that you did. Let's talk about the lack of responsibility. I'm gonna tell you one more thing because I'm sure some other panelists have something to say. This is the problem that I have. Whenever you open up your marriage to something that somebody else did not consent to, if your side piece has depression or anxiety or anything like that, there's a spiritual exchange that takes place when you go sleep with somebody else that you now have invited into your home. So part of the reason why your marriage is not happy is because you were lusting over the fence to begin with. You invited that into your marriage. You corrupted your home. The best thing for you to do, because he does have the right to leave you, the best thing that you could do, the responsible thing you can do, is either end that relationship on the side or leave that man alone and let somebody else find him.
Clap it up, clap it
Now, compare that now with.
You really want you don't want me to react to that? That made my blood boil. Can I have a reaction moment, please?
Go ahead.
And we can compare it, no problem. I do not approve of the message that the woman was given. Yes, she betrayed her partner. Yes, that is inappropriate. But there are a lot of assumptions that were in that riptide of judgment that just went on to that poor woman. She had an extramarital affair. Do we know that this woman has not had like a conversation before? Do we know that? She's trying to convince her husband to let her keep her side man. Do we know that they had vows that along those lines? Like, I feel like there's so many assumptions on that just belong to one single cultural interpretation, and that just made my blood boil. There's some good in it. Don't get me wrong. There's some good in it. And you know that I always start on the point of consent. But that don't mean that the lady's manipulating. That does not mean she's manipulating. It's out in the open now. That's not necessarily manipulation. This is a conversation she's having with her partner. I would like to have this. I would like to keep a partner on the outside. If that partner is open to it, she now has to give her own concessions. The way you do that is you say, okay, you want to have somebody on the side. I have somebody on the side. We are primary partners. We have agreements. But that requires a level of openness, of discussion that most people are not ready for. And that person on the panel pissed me off because she's not ready for it either. And she ought to give advice to people about their lives. And I'll go ahead. Let's hear the next one.
All right, so let's look at this clip now. Compare that to this.
My name is Kenya. This is Carl, my husband of 26 years. And this is Tiger, my husband of 10 years.
Uh-oh.
Look at this. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Carl and I are entrepreneurs. We run several companies online, and we've written several books together.
For a living, I'm an investor. I sit around and look at numbers and charts and watch stock market all day.
Every lady should have 2 husbands. I'm legally married to Carl for the past 26 years.
Oh, wow.
We have 3 kids together. When we decided that we wanted to have this multiple relationship structure in our marriage, we went straight to our kids and talked to them about it. We told them exactly what it was, exactly what it was not, and we always kept the door open for them to ask questions, share their thoughts, opinions, feelings, and we always supported them.
All right. Get a different task.
But did you see the legs under there?
I have other tasks. In the 12th year of our marriage, Carl and I decided that I was going to have multiple partners because I had met and fallen for another guy. So I came back and reported that to Carl.
So we decided to talk about it. Like, what do we do? How do we go about this? And that began a 2-year journey of Kenya and I just kind of discussing things. We just had to figure things out. So we discussed it for a number of years. I finally came into the knowledge and understanding about feminine, expression, and realized you have to allow women to be free and express themselves. And as a man, I need to support her in doing that.
I met Tiger at a Halloween party. He was dressed as Tiger Woods, and he was looking hot and sexy.
Well, I came out and had a dance with you, so we had a nice little romantic, slow dance. It was real nice.
Yes.
And so I decided, I'm going to pursue this. I'm going to see where this leads to.
Right. So those just go right up there, and then the green painting goes in the center.
All right.
I'm super multifaceted. It feels like Carl fits one part of who I am, philosophical and spiritual, and we have these deep conversations. And then the other part is like thrill-seeking, excitement, traveling, and that's who Tiger fits. But I'm both of those people in one body. So I like to have those multiple partnerships.
Is it one nail for each painting?
It's probably going to be 2. Let's do the big painting first.
We're all basically trailblazers in this way, and we all support each other. And that's why I'm so ready to support Tiger and Kenya whenever they need support in their relationship or anything else.
I think a lot of what people see on a day-to-day is kind of like the whys. Why would anybody do that? Why would that man invite you into his house and have you with his wife? Why? It's a benefit to have another person there. It's a benefit to have somebody that you can kind of relate to, that you can trust, versus just having some random person come in.
Or
cheating, just
lying, hiding, sneaking.
It really adds a lot of serenity to the home.
Wow. Now, okay. So, we talked about manipulation before. And what manipulation actually in the dictionary is handling skillfully. I think that is very skillfully handled.
Before we get to that, we do have some comments rolling in.
Oh, yes, we do when I'm supposed to be in charge. I'm so sorry.
Basilea Rue said, Kitty. I guess that's the woman from the first clip we showed. She hits hard, but it is hard to argue truth. She spits. 76 Maroon says, really, what the lady said pissed you off and not what the lady did? Now that is really crazy. Would you like to respond?
Yeah, I would, because I think there's 2 different things going on in that clip, right? Yes, I understand the betrayal. And yes, I do not condone it. And in truth, I would not participate in it. However, the vitriol that woman responded to her with was so judgmental. This is somebody who's trying to make good her mistake. She's asked for assistance. And the response was, you're a horrible person. You can't fix this, and you need to make these 2 choices and get right with God. And no offense to the people that believe in that stuff. I clearly don't. But that's just that the tone of that was so off-putting, in my opinion, and so judgmental. And it assumed a lot of things. It's not like I'm going to tell you that I condone cheating. But we're talking about polyamory and open relationships. The difference between that first clip and the second clip is when the relationship opened up and whether or not there was consent. So this is a woman who has gone out there and created something that she wants in her life and has probably hurt the other person, but we don't even know that. That's another assumption. We don't know how this man responded or what his requests were, or what his demands were. So there's a lot of things that we are assuming or were assumed about her. What if they've started this conversation and she's actually working on it, being open with her partner and what she needs, right? And she goes on, and funny how women especially will justify or accept certain morals these days. Oh, okay. So you see, the tone that the commenter is taking with me is exactly the tone that lady took with the lady that brought up her issue. And so that's the kind of thing that, I just not about it. I'm not about it because you really don't know where I'm coming from in this particular instance.
Well,
We're talking about an issue of polyamory. Polyamory is something that is created. It has to be co-created. But the difference between the person in the first clip and the person in the second clip is that the second clip had not only the consent of her partner, but she also had the language to have conversations. She went back home to her partner and had a conversation. And I can condone that completely. Like I can see you co-creating that with your partner. Totally possible. Right?
Well, with that being said, let's I want to talk about our poll results. So for those of you who are just joining the chat, these were or joining us. This was a question that was sent out to our WhatsApp group channel, and it said, if your partner said they want to open the relationship, what's your first reaction? And an overwhelming majority of people said, I'd already be gone.
Actually, what you would say.
And a second one, what I would say, I believe the fifth.
Yeah.
So, I mean, most, and looking at the results, right? I mean, most people, and this is just my take. This is just my take on it, right? Most people don't hear open relationship as honest conversation, quote unquote, right? I feel like they hear it as you already have somebody or you already planning to. So I feel like the vote is really, I'm not staying to get embarrassed.
Oh, yeah. You mean that I'd already be gone?
Yeah, I'd already be gone, right? That's just my take on it.
I don't read it that way, but it's possible.
But I find that those, I mean, there was still a in my view, a sizable minority who chose I'm listening. And for me, I think that suggested, you know, some people are curious and not automatically scandalized by it. Some are practical, better know the truth than sneaking around. Some are negotiators. Maybe they're open to hearing the terms before they decide. Some probably chose that because they think if temptation is already out there, you know, let's talk like adults. I don't think the minority that chose that one is a sign of how tired.
You gone or?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
You can hear me now?
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on.
Do you mind if I take a stab at it because I see it slightly differently?
Well, I mean, I think I'm listening can also mean I'd rather have an uncomfortable conversation than get surprised by a screenshot, right? I don't think it's Cayman is split on polyamory. I think Cayman is split on trust, right? I mean, I think the poll isn't really poly versus monogamy. It's do I trust you, or you know, do I think you're setting me up?
But you see, I read it slightly differently because I see I'm listening as I'm interested. Who is it? I read who is it as there must be already somebody. So are you now coming clean to cheat? Absolutely not as somebody who knows themselves and say, this is not for me, but trust their partner to honor them. And I'd already be gone is somebody that does not trust their partner to honor them. And the very fact that they asked the question has been an indictment on them, which is the judgment that I see that is dangerous in relationships. If you can't have the conversation in the first place, then you go cut and run as soon as somebody just opens up their thoughts to you. But I understand why it exists, but that's how I read it. You see, I read it slightly differently. And I think I'm coming also from a position of experience because I have had a partner come to me and say, I would like to open up a relationship.
Really?
I have. And, you know, we started to research it. I didn't want to jump into it because I wanted to see what it was like. Because I also, like I said, I have friends who have open relationships. And some of them are polyamorous. Some of them are swingers. Some of them are, you know, there are people all over the world. And trust me, if you think that you don't know anyone who lives that kind of life, that's just because they're keeping it from you. This is very, very pervasive. Right? I know at least I know at least 2 polyamorous couples in Cayman, right? But and that's probably because they're in my life and they also acknowledge that I'm a safe place to share that kind of thing with, right? So I say all this to say a partner came to me and said to me, I would like to open up our relationship. And I said to them, okay, thank you for saying this. I have never really considered it, but I do also know that I'm quite conservative in my own relationships. I'm not a person who's cheated. I'm not somebody who's ever done that kind of thing, but I am. But I'm open to exploring what it is drawing you to it, to see if there's anything that would draw me to it. Okay. So we had the discussions. We started to research it. We actually had a conversation with a like an opening specialist. There are people who do this, by the way. They're sex coaches and so on who do this type of stuff. We had a call with them to talk about what are the possibilities, what is the language, how do we do this type of thing, and we got some good advice on it. And we sat with it for about 4 months, maybe. And in the course of our conversation, we began to learn that we had 2 very different ideas of what open was going to look like. My partner had the idea of, like, picking up girls in a bar, enjoying themselves, like being free to go out and be young and fun. I had the idea, because I've never really done that. That's not ever been my vibe, was to, okay, I'll have a boyfriend on the side. So immediately, me thinking of my partner going out and picking up girls kind of grossed me out. I'm like, that's indiscriminate. That is not sexually safe. That is unhygienic. That's probably not the place that I would want to go. And I don't think I would feel safe in a relationship with somebody that did that. My partner, on the flip side, did not feel safe with me going out and having a boyfriend, because if I have a boyfriend on the side, I'm in an emotional relationship that he would like to have only for him. And so we came to the decision that we would not open up our relationship. Right? So when I hear conversations about this, I'm often looking for, most people come to it with some preconceived notions as to how this is supposed to look. But the truth is, every single one of us is different. Every relationship is different. And if there's consent and open conversation, there is a lot of possibility. And, people make it work. Like, people make it work in both of those circumstances. Like, one of the couples I know here, the couple has a girlfriend. Right? Yeah. And in the family that I was telling you about that I visited when I was traveling. So that was a throuple. That's a throuple. I mean, I'd see the 2 ladies at the supermarket together, and I'd be like, oh, good for you. At least it's like, it's clean, it's clear, it's closed, really, because it's closed within themselves. And there's clearly an open conversation, but it takes a higher level of communication than most couples have capacity to do with 2 people. Right? So, and but it all comes back to consent, right? It comes back to consent and having a conversation in the first place. And the place that I start with, I'll tell you another trigger for me, right? So one of my people that is polyamorous we've had long conversations about this, because it's somebody really close to me. And I've been asking her, she has been single for many years, but she still identifies as polyamorous. And she will not get into a relationship with a person unless they are open to her being polyamorous. So for some people, they hold this as a part of their identity, their sexual identity. It is not just them saying, oh, I want to have multiple partners. Today, it's about who they are in relationship as a person. Right?
Well,
you keep breaking up on me, Alfred.
Well, actually, no, I'm just thinking about how to answer. But well, I mean, I suppose so that the audience doesn't get confused, because we are throwing a lot of terms around. I found this diagram to sort of, make it a bit more understandable for the listening audience, right? So when it comes to relationships, you have monogamy, which means you are with one person and one person only, and the two of you only focus on each other. And then you have non-monogamy, and non-monogamy takes now the different forms that we're talking about now. So we're talking about thruples, polyamory. So what to sort of piggyback off of Matilda's point, talking about closed relationships versus open relationships, her ex-partner going out there and picking up whoever they want to pick up, and her having the idea of having a boyfriend on the side.
Mm-hmm.
So it shows here, I think this diagram sort of illustrates that perfectly. So polyamory is the philosophy or state of being involved with more than one person at the same time with informed consent from all involved, right? So, and they could be, according to this diagram, they could be more than likely closed relationships. So all the partners, however many there are, they're not allowed to seek other partners outside the configuration without everybody's consent. Whereas now an open relationship now, it's sort of any configuration in which partners are allowed to seek other partners, and they don't necessarily need the consent of the main partner. So using Matilda's example of her ex-partner, it seemed like her partner wanted that.
Yes, an open polyamorous relationship.
An open polyamorous relationship.
Because if we see the polyamory circle is divided in half, closed and open.
Right. So he wanted that. He wanted that experience, whereas she was open to it's one other person and that's it. Right? So, and we see that polyamory is, the term is an umbrella term for different types of non-monogamy. So people may have heard of the term polygamy, which just means more than one spouse. And then within that, you have polygyny, which is one man, multiple women. And you have polyandry, which is one woman, multiple men. So I'd like to actually show some clips so that people could see what it looks like.
This is the life. Nothing else. Rice and peas! Fried chicken!
Y'all good?
And we saw the clip already of the woman with her two husbands, right? That would be a polyandrous relationship. So it's one woman, multiple men. And the clip we just saw would be the one man, two women. That's a polygynous relationship, right? But now, I mean, in our more inclusive world, we have other types of polyamorous relationships. Take a look.
All the kings had their queens on the throne. We will pop champagne and raise a toast to all of the queens who are fighting alone, baby.
A croissant won't solve all your problems, but two might do the trick.
And look at this one.
Boda de tres.
I died every day waiting for you, darling. Don't be afraid. I loved you for 1,000 years. I love you for 1,000.
And against all odds.
I hear you.
Time stands still, beauty in all she is. I will be brave. I will not let anything take.
So I think there are a couple more terms we need to kind of deal with. One is like the unicorn. You want to take it?
The unicorn.
In a polyamory context, do you know what it is?
Talk to me.
So a unicorn is the bisexual person in a throuple.
Really? That's what that means?
It can be in a throuple, or the is generally speaking a bisexual woman who is willing to be with both partners.
A man and a woman.
Yes.
Okay. So what would you call a bisexual man?
I don't know. I don't think there's a word for that. But the unicorn is usually a woman because for some reason they're harder to find. And I think it's probably because single women in particular, are very, very conservative to put themselves out there into these types of instances. This is like based on this is like polyamory, sex education, New York sex education, or circa 2012, right? So bear with me. My information might be a little out of date, but it was kind of like what I understood. The reason why women were more rare is because single women don't generally come to events in the polyamorous community because because of feeling relatively unsafe, not necessarily unsafe, but kind of like pounced on. Whereas you're more likely to find more single men seeking participation in kiss parties, sex parties, etc., and where polyamorous people meet each other. So I should probably break that down a little bit further as well, because in the polyamorous community, often in certain cities in particular, there are stages to introducing people who are polycurious to the community. I know this because I was invited. I did not attend because I have never been polycurious.
You're a one-man type of woman.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, and that whole conversation with
Nothing
that
wrong with
ex-partner. No, but the whole conversation with the ex-partner really made me realize just how much of a one-man kind of woman I was, because even though I said I was willing to explore having a boyfriend, the truth is I was looking for my next man. I wasn't looking to stay. In my, looking back at it now, and that's why we ended the conversation, because I told him, listen, if I find somebody better than you, I'll stick around. So that, that is the risk a lot of people will take. That is also the risk that lady that I talked about at the very beginning was talking about. She was concerned that her husband's girlfriend, his new girlfriend, was not polycurious. Polycurious means you're truly interested in the polyamorous relationship. You're not actually looking for a primary partner. So a woman who shows up to these parties, so sorry, I started to tell you about how it actually happens. So generally speaking, the introduction to that community would in big cities is to go to like a kiss party, they would call it. And there's they have rules around how you participate, but it's kind of like adult spin the bottle. Right? And you explore whether or not this is for you without the high stakes of having to get involved with somebody. The next step would be to like actually participate in a polyamorous relationship. And before you do that, there are requirements. And those requirements include STD testing, include certain types of conversations. There are a couple of books that were used by the poly community at the time to talk about how to go open ethically and how to make participating in a consensual relationship opening, right? So there's a method to all of this. It is actually incredibly structured if you're doing it ethically and if you're actually paying attention to what best practice, which is such a weird thing to say about sexual relationships, but you think about polyamory. You know what I mean? Like polyamory best practice. No, there are manuals out there for this. Which is why I say, like, the first two clips that you were comparing, the thing that was missing in the first clip was consent. However, you could tell that lady is looking for that open relationship. She's not trying to leave her partner or either of her partners, but she screwed up because she did not start it from a place of open communication. And we don't know why that is. So But most people do not have the language around this, even though that's what they want to create. So I'm glad we're having this conversation on our show, because now we can actually open up the conversation for partners who are thinking about this and want to do it.
Well, there's one more term that I would like to talk about, because I've heard it, and it doesn't fit neatly into either monogamy or non-monogamy. And have you ever heard of this term called monogamish?
Yeah, but I don't really know what it means. Continue.
All right, so monogamish is basically mostly monogamous, but you got a little wiggle room. So
Yeah,
you're
whole
still,
path.
you're still a couple.
Mm-hmm.
You're still each other's main person. You're still doing
Mhm.
life like normal, but you allow certain outside stuff by agreement, not by sneaking, right?
Mm-hmm.
So think of it like monogamy is the default with a couple approved exceptions. So, all right. So, it could look something like, and I mean, different couples would come to different understandings and different agreements and different arrangements, right? So, there's no one size fits all, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, it could look something to the effect of, all right, well, we can flirt, but we don't act on it.
Mm-hmm.
Or it could be kissing is allowed, but sex isn't.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Or it could be, I mean, people have probably heard this before. It could be, you got a one-time hall pass with rules, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, which for those who are unfamiliar, it's a couple agrees that once in a while a person can have a one-off experience. I mean, the rules might be, there's got to be protection. It's not going to be with friends or co-workers. No repeats. And you're open with your partner. You tell your partner. So an example would be like, let's say you're traveling one night, and it's just for one night, no ongoing thing, and you come home to me. So that's an example of a hall pass, right? Monogamish also looks like, okay, we would do threesomes only together, so nobody does anything alone. It's the couple only does stuff as a pair.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
But that's like couple dating. That's dating as a couple,
right?
Mm-hmm.
Or it could also look as open sexually, closed emotionally. Some couples allow sex outside, but they draw the line at romance and feelings. So you can't be taking somebody out and sweet talking them or building a whole second relationship. It is strictly no strings attached, sex,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But so that's monogamish in a nutshell. But what it isn't, it's not I cheated, but now I want to call it a lifestyle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nor is it one person getting freedom while the other has to suffer quietly. And it certainly isn't don't ask, don't tell. So
Yeah.
I guess the easiest way it's when you're still each other's main person, but you've negotiated a few exceptions so that nobody has to sneak. Again, the key is the underlying thing is honesty and openness and transparency. That's monogamish.
Yeah. I can see why that would have an attraction. I kind of wonder though, and I'd like your thought on this. Where does swinging fall in? Is that monogamish?
Well, I mean, I'm not an authority on it, certainly by no stretch
But
of the
like it's not
imagination.
clear to me. It's not clear to me.
But I mean, what is swinging? I mean, if swinging is, just you and your partner agree to have sexual relationships with other people, but you're not open to developing any romance or feelings with them, I mean, I think that would fall under monogamish.
Yeah.
As long as both of you are doing it and
it.
both of you agree and both of you are open and both of you abide by whatever rules you guys agree to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Right. I mean, I think that's where that would fall, in my opinion. But curious to ask the audience what they think about it.
Yeah, I'd like to hear that, because I'd like to hear truly. I don't really understand where Cayman is at with this. I'd love to get a temperature check on how Cayman how this actually goes in Cayman. I know that it exists in Cayman. I know that it exists quite openly in certain parts of Cayman, but I don't know that this is a. I feel as though women who do it are slut shamed, and men who do it are told that, oh boy, you the man, you created it. Like, which is why I'm often defensive of women who have found themselves in a position where they're being shamed.
Well, to that point, I actually have 2 clips I'd like to share with you.
Okay.
Take a look.
Mm-hmm.
Women, we are so willing to be a side chick, but not willing to be polygamy is just insane to me. There's more side chicks than women getting together saying, I love this man, we all love this man, let's push this man to go further in life. This is a big product of why we have so many broken homes, why we have so many kids getting raised on their own, because we cannot accept the truth. And the truth is, a lot of men can handle multiple women, be in love with multiple women. Y'all gotta stop putting yourself in the box and leading as if you guys are just one women men, and you're not. And it's a lot of broken homes because of this. I'm telling you right now, your honesty will free you. When it comes down to you men that actually know deep down inside is your nature that you can handle multiple women, be honest about that. Y'all need to start putting your foot down. Like, listen, it's more with it and with the truth and gonna really fuck with you because you honest than the other ones. If that has always been in you and you know that's a part of your make and your nature, drop your stand on your 10, baby, and come out and be real about who you are.
Watch this one. Consider this one now.
Super unpopular opinion, but if I could share my food that I need to survive, my sustenance, why wouldn't I also be able to share my husband that she might need to survive, to sustain not only her life, but her kid's life? I mean, is that not the ultimate form of love?
Before you share your thoughts, we have a comment from 76 Maroons. 76 Maroons says, I met a girl like that before and I run fast.
Mm-hmm.
But I actually wanted to bring this up. This was actually a post.
No, but before you do that, I want to respond to that comment because I think that's a very smart approach. If you know that that's not something you can handle, dip. I completely agree with that. If you know that this is not for you, and this is where people also need, and I don't think women do this enough. Women don't often say, I know about that.
Yeah.
Until it's too late, we let go, and then so if you know that this is not for you. By the way, I really wanted to pay attention to this, but that actually, speaking of language, do you mind if I just do this real quick? Very, very simple thing. When my ex-partner and I spoke with the sex coach, I think she was out of the US, the conversation that we had was like, how do you open up your conversation in your relationship? And she said, this is what I say to people who are not even considering opening their relationship. They are just interested in being like better communicators. And it's to sit down with your partner and come up with a million different scenarios in relationship and say, yes, no, maybe. Create your yes, no, maybe. Yes, I'd be interested in having a threesome. No, I don't want to have a same-sex threesome with me, right? Or whatever, right? Maybe like you understand what I'm saying? Maybe I would try anal or whatever, right? Like whatever it is, like I identify all of the sexual adventures that you could possibly go on and get clear on yes, no, and maybe. Like what is for you and what is not. If you say you're going to dip when somebody opens up this relationship and they bring this up, wonderful. You know that that's a no. But also understand what your maybes are and get clear. And for me at that time, being in an open relationship was a maybe. But I learned over that time that actually, no, it wasn't a maybe. It was that I was on my way out of that relationship. And I was looking anyhow. It was time for me to start looking. So it was just me like thinking, is this for me? Is this not for me? So getting to know who you are in this situation, sit down and make your own yes, maybe list, yes, no, maybe list. And then even without a partner, you can do that. So you know exactly where you stand. So you can stand with your 10 toes down. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry. I love this. I love this thing that you found.
Well, before I get to this thing, I found what you were talking about you know, you not wanting to do a same-sex thing. I actually I have an acquaintance of mine who said that, you know, she had, you know, has had this conversation with her husband before, talking about threesome and thing, and she was like, the type of threesome she wants wouldn't be the one he wants, and the type of one he wants wouldn't be the one she wants. So-
Exactly. When you see it, right? You see it, but you don't know that until you talk about it.
But exactly, that's the point. It's like the fact that they felt they were open enough with each other that they could discuss that without one getting offended or the other one not getting offended, or the other one, you know, getting insecure. Yeah. I mean, I think that is the key. I mean, you know, because the point of this episode is really to talk about honesty and open communication within relationships. I think that's the core underlying theme, the core underlying thread that ties this topic together.
I don't disagree with you, but I think there are additional themes. One of them is consent. I think consent is a massive theme that we have been talking about straight throughout our from the existence of the show. And then the second one that I can see as well is that relationships don't just look like one thing. They can look like there's as much variety in relationships
as there are relationships. Yeah.
I mean, you and I both know this person who identifies as 15 different things, right? And presents some. Okay, what was it again? What was the identification? Just tell me the identification.
Are you talking about
You had the whole list, man. It was good. It was a good list.
What was the order again?
Polyamorous,
transsexual, non-binary, lesbian with a dick.
Yeah, so you can just imagine what those relationships look like, right?
I mean,
that's
like Jesus Christ, like pick a struggle.
That's exactly what I said. Pick a struggle. All you need to be on top of that is vegan. but you know what I mean, right? Like so but imagine that person's
let me just put a caveat in there. All likeness to persons that are alive is purely coincidental.
You are hilarious. So but you understand, like there's like that person's relationships are super unique, like the way that they identify them, the way that they relate to them. And I love that exists in the world, because it just allows us to create possibility. But I think it always comes down to consent and doing good by the people that we're in a relationship with.
Yeah. I would agree with that too.
Consent, respect, and open communication, and just allowing things to be possible.
I would agree with that. I have one more clip.
You got 2 minutes.
Shimmy, well, I figure we can go a little over time.
Yeah, I know you begged for a couple minutes more.
Little 30 minutes over time. Don't worry about that. I just wanted to show literal sister wives. Now, in my opinion, I think this is a bit too far, but take a look.
So you both share a boyfriend?
Yes, we do.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
Oh, so that's a bit different.
Yeah.
We've been with our partner Ben for 11 years. The three of us are happy. We found our soulmate, we found our rock, our best friend. If we could, we will marry Ben, if it's possible. We should be able to marry the same man. You know, there really shouldn't be a law. Like, it's like, I don't
Totally
understand
unfair, like
why.
we're being judged.
But we would like to look into maybe going overseas and celebrate our love together where it's possible. But at the moment, we're very happy with our commitment with Van.
And I guess you've made it this far, like this, so
Yeah.
Like, we're not going to change.
Like, we're not gonna
This is who we are.
Yeah.
And Ben loves us for who we are.
Yes.
We've found someone that accepts us for who we are.
That's
you know?
lovely.
There's never been no jealousy in this relationship. Ben treats us equally. He will never kiss Anna and not me. That's happened from day one in this relationship. He just knows if he's ever going to kiss me, he kisses Lucy just straight away. He just knows to. He just knows to. That's from day one in this relationship, it's been equal. It really is true love. It really is. Like, the first night we met him, we like both kissed him. Like, we both kissed him. It wasn't just
Not
like
at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah, we both kissed him.
Like a three-way.
Well, like a three-way.
This is crazy. It's crazy. Like, it's crazy. Like, do they actually really have sex with the same guy at the same time? Is it like 1 pump, 2 pumps? Like, it's crazy. I don't like him. It's wild. Like, I would never gobble the same as my sister, but I mean, like, it's weird, but like, yeah, it is what it is, I guess.
Can I tell you what that looked like to me? That looked like, do you ever watch Rick and Morty?
It looked like it's like they share the same brain.
It's like
they're twin. They
the hive
share
mind.
the same brain, the hive mind.
It's a hive mind. It's like one person in 2 bodies. That is creepy on all sorts of different levels. But you know what? Good for him. I mean, if he can take that level of creep in his house, well done.
Wow. So our question.
You can handle it, you know.
So I have a question to the audience now. Could you handle being in a polyamorous relationship? Wow, that last clip just kind of took me out.
Bro. But you know what I'm talking about. In Rick and Morty, there's this character called Unity, and Unity infects people with a virus, pretty much. Like, she gets into their brains and she talks through them. And but you know, a big part of it, I wonder too, is like, did he just not know the difference between them 2 people? Like, he just didn't know the difference between them. So you know what? Okay, I'll take 2. And it's like, you know, do you want 2 bananas in your banana split? Like, or you know what? Sorry, that was a very, very bad
Jesus
example.
God.
That was a really bad example. But you know, like, do you want 2 cherries on top of your sundae? What is it that you're after? Like, and if they can't tell, does he know their names? Or does he call them by a single name? You know, like, it's so strange. But you know what? Who am I to shame? It clearly works for them.
Well,
It works for
76
both
Maroon.
of them. He must be a happy guy. I mean, us 4 hands taking care of him. Well done.
76 Maroon says they're twins. I would not want to marry a twin. 2 of the same. No fun in that.
I get that. Because that's not actually variety. Especially since they're so committed to being the same and finishing their own sentences. They're each other, you know? They're so committed to their sameness. It's not even like they're dressing differently or, you know, like trying to be independent.
Mm-hmm.
I completely agree with that. I wouldn't be able to take that on.
Well, being conscious of time, we were already over time. I just want to give my closing message. So for those of you who've been watching, have watched this far, thank you so much. Tonight wasn't really about pushing polyamory, and it certainly wasn't about defending side piece culture either. It was about something simpler. Honesty, openness, communication, consent. The truth is, an open relationship can be a real respectful agreement. It can also be a fancy new name for the same old foolishness. Maybe that's why many of y'all said in the poll I'd already be gone. Right? Because when somebody says, let's open it, what plenty of people hear is, oh, well, just so you know, I already opened it. But, you know, I also saw that minority strong enough to matter who said, I'm listening. And that tells me that some of us are tired of guessing. We're tired of the secrecy. We're tired of the sneaky links. We're tired of the double life. And here's the takeaway. Polyamory isn't the cure for cheating. Honesty is. And if you can't be honest, and this is one of the things that Matilda and I spoke about before we got on air. If you can't be honest, don't try to be open.
Yeah, because I was gonna jump in and say that polyamory is not a fix for a toxic relationship. In fact, polyamory only really works if you start from a healthy place. If you are already secure in your relationship, that is where you get the success in being able to communicate and create the respect, the consent, and the openness in a polyamorous relationship. Is advice that I received from the same person that, guided my partner, my ex-partner, and I about whether or not we were going to open up. And that was probably the most sound advice that she gave us, was that if there's something missing in your relationship and you think that this is the answer to it, then you need to not be open. You need to fix your relationship first.
Right. And because, again, if you can't be honest, don't try to be open, because that's right there. That is an open love. That's open season. So before
Enough
you change,
respect to the commenter, by the way, who has been with us this whole show.
thank you so much, 76 Maroons. It says, love the chat, guys. Always looking forward for Friday nights when I remember. That's why you should follow us on Instagram and follow our WhatsApp channel so that you don't.
We'll remind you, because Alfredito is going to drown you with reminders on the day when we're coming on. I think you're doing that for me, so I don't forget and leave him hanging.
That this show will grow because we have two great hosts. Thank you so much for that. I mean, it takes a lot. Trust me, producing a show is no easy feat.
We're learning, boy.
And we're learning. So bigger and better as we go forward. But before you change the rules mid-game, ask yourself, am I asking for the truth or am I asking for permission? And if your partner brings it up, don't panic. Just get clear. What does open mean? Why now? Is there already somebody? Are the rules equal? What happens if this hurts one of us? Love can survive a hard conversation, but it rarely survives a lie. Especially on this small rock we call Cayman, where secrets don't die. They just get forwarded with that little emoji eyes. You know them emoji eyes? Yeah.
Sideways.
Yeah, little side eyes. Right? Anything you'd like to add?
Nope, I'm good.
This is Real Talk, Love and Lies. Stay kind, stay smart, and stay honest, even when it's inconvenient. Good night, Cayman.
Good night.